Now, the market is actually full of specialists, right? Videographers, copywriters, social media managers, and also people who are known as brand strategists, right? And I see these people as, or these people are all masters of what a single tactical skill, right? And when you have a high stakes problem, let's say you are a principal of a sovereign wealth fund who has a high stake problem, when you go to a specialist, I see it as you being walking into a trap, because their only solution is the one tool in their toolbox. When you go to a videographer or to a brand strategist, expecting something, expecting them to be able to solve your problem, and I mean, if you are a principal of a sovereign wealth fund, or if you're a billionaire and you go to these people or these specialists to help you solve your problem, their only solution is one tool. They only use one tool, right? Like I said, if you go to a videographer, they will sell you a video. If you go to a copywriter, they will sell you copy, right? And these things are not, or these people, or these things are not architected to find out what, if that is what you actually need. What I mean by that is these people, you know, the job, what the job of a copywriter is. The copywriter is meant to help you write a copy that can help you convey your message, right? Maybe on your website. But when you go to meet these people, they do not ask you if that is actually what you need. Okay? So this is what I call, or what is known as, the specialist trap. Now, the specialist trap is actually confusing tactical activity with strategic process. No, strategic progress, not process, right? Now, we at Mohgix, or as a cinematic strategy firm, or as cinematic strategists, we must reject this model completely. In fact, we reject it completely, and our doctrine actually demands that we operate as Apex Generalists. Yes, Apex Generalists. Now, I'll get into that in a minute. Now, and honestly, this is profoundly different, and it is a far more powerful position, right? Because the Apex Generalist is not a master of one tactic. They are a master of the entire strategic process. Yes, they are a master of the entire strategic process. And I'll give you a clear example. When a client a client might actually come to us and say, we need a film to tell our brand story, or to tell a story about our nation, right? Or we need a film for our website, right? Now, a specialist, which is the vendor, now will say, okay, let's start. How many people are going to speak? Who are we going to make interviews of? What is the script or what is the story? So these are the type of questions that a vendor would ask, right? Because the only tool allows them to execute the tactic. But we, the Apex Generalists, the cinematic strategists, we will stop and we will ask you why, right? Why do you think you need a film? Why do you think, or when we ask you why you think you need a film, and you say because your message is not clear, then we ask you why you think your message is not clear. So this is why we engage in a diagnostic consultation first, right? So we need to know why, right? We need to know why. And oftentimes, as we diagnose the problem for our clients or for you, we actually discover the real issue. And these are issues that investors or clients don't understand. These are real issues that clients don't really understand or don't know that they have. And oftentimes we get feedbacks that it was really valuable, that the conversations were really valuable because they never knew that this was actually a part of the problem, right? Now, let's go back to that example. Let's say you as a client, you come, you meet a vendor, and then the vendor asks you, tells you, let's start. And then you come to us as the Apex Generalist, and then we stop and then we ask you why. Now, when we ask why, we may discover that the real issue is not creating the brand film to be able to tell a better story. We may discover that the real issue is that investors don't understand your model or don't understand your business. And when I speak about investor now, for you as your client, as our client, is maybe your customers or the people who apparently invest in your business. They be consumers or whatnot, right? Now, so we discover that the real issue is that investors don't understand your model, your business, your brand, right? And we believe that you as the clients who come to us, before we ask why, we discover that you are paying a clarity tax. And a simple film will not solve that clarity tax that you are paying, right? And it is a symptom, right? The film is only a symptom, right? And our function is not to treat the symptom. Our function as Apex Generalist is not to fix the symptom. Our function is to cure the disease, right? Because we see the clarity tax as a pathology, as a pathogen. It is a disease that needs to be cured, right? So the real solution might not be a film, but it might also be a high-level diagnostic consultation to actually re-architect your entire value proposition, right? So an Apex Generalist is not tied to a single skill. We are tied to a single outcome, which is to eliminate the disease, to cure the disease, to eliminate the clarity tax, right? And our value is not in what we do. Our value is in our ability to architect the correct destination. This is very, very important. So no, we do not sell tactics. We deploy a process to actually guarantee a result. So this is the power of the Apex Generalist. And if you are a cinematic strategist, you are an Apex Generalist. And your only job is to diagnose the problem so you can solve or cure the disease, which is the clarity tax.